Hi, I'm Tom Shives from Unstuck Company. I'd like to welcome you today to a short video that we're going to talk a little bit about Agile Scrum. And I have an expert with me, Yvonne, who's an associate with Unstuck Company. And I've known her for a couple years, and she has an amazing background in Agile Scrum. So Yvonne, tell me a little bit about yourself.
Well, Tom, I started off as a software engineer doing programming, and then from there went into software configuration management, software quality assurance, and test, and really got quite involved in the process improvement aspect of it. From there, I've spent the last few years doing consulting and training and focusing on Agile methods.
Now, what did you do in software quality? Because I know you have an interesting background in that, in your progression and getting into Scrum.
The thing that I like most about software quality is that it involved interaction with people and really helping them to identify areas that they could improve and being able to, coach, mentor them on process improvement. So I had used a lot of different methodologies over the years in quality assurance, from the formal models like the CMMI and the ISO, being involved in formal audits, to working with startup companies and helping them become better at building products, but within the auspices of a smaller company.
Now, I know some of our viewers probably don't know too much about Agile Scrum, so tell us just a little bit about what Agile Scrum is and how you got involved in that.
Well, I really got involved in Agile Scrum when I saw it presented at a conference in 2002, and the methodology really spoke to me because of the people aspect of it. The collaboration with people, the collaboration with the customers, the collaboration with the team and management in the company. And I was just really intrigued by this. And so over the years, I've really looked to work in organizations and educate myself in Agile. In the last few years, I focused my consulting and training work in the area of Agile methods.
Okay. Now, most of our experience that we're going to be sharing with you, and also in some of the workshops that we do, are on Agile Scrum. So relative to Scrum and the whole Agile movement, how does that fit into the Agile methodology?
Well, Agile Scrum is more of the project management aspect of Agile methods. And within Scrum, you have 3 roles on a project. You have your Scrum Master, your product owner, and your team members. And they all work together to very collaboratively over the cycle of a finite time box for the cycle of the Scrum, 2 to 4 weeks. And within that time, they really focus on a very small part of the product that they're building. And they select the parts of the product to build that are going to be the high value items that they've collaborated with their customer and identified. So that's Scrum in a nutshell. So they're delivering to the client very often.
And so tell me more about the Scrum process and why you think it's been so beneficial and why it's sort of been kind of an upcoming wave of interest in the product development area, software development, and even some others. Why has that been the case?
Well, I think the popularity in Agile has grown over the years because there's a lot of products out there that customers are wanting a lot sooner, or they want aspects of products, smaller nuggets of them, smaller feature sets, sooner than having, the big bang of going off for getting an annual release. So Agile methodology, if you have that kind of product, Agile methodology just really helps to enhance that type of frequent delivery and close collaboration with your customer to get them the product in smaller pieces a lot sooner.
Mm-hmm. You mentioned a while ago 3 roles. You mentioned the Scrum Master role, the product owner, and then we had the team member. Tell me a little bit more about this Scrum Master. What is his primary role?
The Scrum Master's primary role is to coach the team on the Agile methods process and the methodology, and to ensure that they are educated on that and that they are taking advantage of all of the principles and behind the methodology. And they help the team to become better at applying Agile methods to their product development. And they identify at the end of each of these 2 to 4 week Scrum sprint cycles, when they have their retrospectives, they're talking about the process improvements that they can do with Agile, so the coach is leading that, and they also talk about improvements to the product as well.
Now, I know you've had a lot of training yourself in Scrum. Tell me a little bit about what some of the sessions that you've been through and in your experience with the training aspect of Scrum.
Yeah, the training aspect is very important with Agile Scrum. And a Scrum Master, it's very important for them to get trained as a certified Scrum Master, because the Scrum Master is the person who is going to be coaching the team on the methodology. So they really want to be the subject matter expert in the Agile methodology, so they can be best equipped to coach the team on the methodology. So the certification in the Scrum Master is key to that, so they get that formal education. The Scrum Master also needs to make sure that they have the soft skills necessary to coach the team from the people aspect. And the team is going to self-direct themselves for the work during the Scrum cycle, and the Scrum Master wants to make sure that the Agile principles around that are being followed by the team.
So I know that you're a certified Scrum Master. Tell me what you went through to become certified as a Scrum Master.
So I went off and took a class for getting my certification as a Scrum Master, and I've also worked on projects with the project team where I was a certified Scrum Master for the particular project teams, and then I also led a Scrum of Scrums as well.
Okay, a Scrum of Scrum. What is that?
A Scrum of Scrums is if you have a larger size product that you're building, each Scrum team is going to be a size of 5 to 9 people, and so you don't really want to have a team less or more than that particular size. So you want to make sure that if you have a larger product that you're working on, you can run teams in parallel, and that's when you would really have a Scrum of Scrums, to make sure that as the product moves along and these teams are working in parallel towards producing the product, that you have an overarching Scrum of Scrums to make sure that they're integrated together.
Okay. All right, so tell me a little bit about the product owner now. So we've talked about the Scrum Master, mentioned the product owner, and then the team member. Tell me a little bit more about the product owner.
The product owner is responsible for what's called a product backlog, and those are all of the items for the feature sets for the product and any of the other work that needs to be done to produce that a quality product at the end for the customer. So it's their main responsibility to ensure that they're collaborating with the customer. I mean, the team is as well, and the Scrum Master, but the product owner's prime role is to make sure that they're collaborating with the customer and that they're ensuring that those highest business value items, the highest features that are going to give them the functionality that they want to see in the product, that those items are being done first and delivered in the first cycles of the product.
Okay. And what's different about a team member on a Scrum team than, let's say, just a regular team member on a regular old project?
Well, on a Scrum team, the titles are really more blurred. There's just team member. Now, of course, team members come to the team with various backgrounds and various focus areas that they've worked on. But within a Scrum team, you really want to make sure you have cross collaboration of skills and knowledge. So that just makes the team stronger, because on a Scrum team, it's not about what the individuals can do, it's what the individuals can do together as a team. So the team is looked at as what the team can do as a whole. Teams are rewarded as teams, and it's the team's effort at the end when they deliver to the customer.
That's great.
Yeah.
I met, as I said, I met Yvonne a couple of years ago, and just through that, getting to know her and understand her expertise, we decided last year that we wanted to go together and build a Agile Scrum class. And so what Yvonne and I did, we spent a fair amount of time last summer building this course, and now it's either a 1-day or a 2-day course in Agile Scrum. And one of the things we do with that is that we even take a comparison and show how is Agile the same or not from traditional project management. And it's really been a fun class. Tell me, what do you think is the biggest benefit that we're able to provide our students, whether we teach it jointly or individually? What do you think some of the greatest benefits are from our class?
I think the greatest benefit from the class is the fact that we do present the materials in a way that they get educated on Agile methodology, but as we're going through basically the Agile Scrum cycle, when we're teaching the class, that we have a lot of hands-on interactive exercises. And so we're actually simulating the full Scrum cycle in the class with hands-on exercises. So we all the participants that come to class, we formulate Agile Scrum teams, Scrum Master role, product owner, team members, and that way they're actually doing that. So when they go back to their offices, their companies, they can take that hands-on experience with them. I think it's a really good learning experience that helps them really truly understand how to apply it within their own companies.
You know, one of the fun things to me about it is that when I had started teaching classes in Scrum, a short, like a half-a-day class over at University of Texas at Dallas to our graduate students there, I became involved in this language that some of the Scrum people use. I mean, Scrum by itself is a different kind of a term. I mean, it goes back to the rugby team of the team kind of forming a scrum and moving the ball in a certain way on the field. But you also have your pigs and your chickens, which is a Scrum terms now. You may have to come to our class to understand what that is. But there's also other terms that's just a little different. Things even like what retrospectives is kind of a different term. We might use the term lessons learned. Retrospective, a little different in the Scrum environment. And like poker, we do a little.
Yeah, we play poker.
Yeah.
We play poker, and we play a little Scrum ball.
Yeah.
So we have a lot of fun in the class with these exercises.
That's great.
Yeah.
Well, is there anything else you would like to tell our viewers today about Scrum, and any other thing that you want to add relative to some benefit or takeaway that you might give them?
I really think that with Agile Scrum, it is something from all of the methodologies that I've seen over the years, and especially working in a heavy QA role in the past, that this is really the single most methodology that really addresses the people side of things. The interaction and collaboration with customers, the collaboration with the team, really focusing on the team's efforts. I think the teams feel more engaged when they're working. They have more satisfying work. There are some struggles getting started. It's a different way to work. There is a transition phase. So the whole forming, norming, storming, performing is going to happen within the team. But man, once they get into the performing, I mean, they hit that sweet spot with Agile. And then just the collaboration, within the organization with management. So I think that's where Agile Scrum has a lot of strength.
So do you think this movement is going to stick?
I do. I think the past 10 years have really shown that Agile, at first when it came out, people thought it might be a bit of a fad, but I think it's definitely proven that it can stick, and a lot of success stories out there. A lot of companies have a lot of success stories with their products, with satisfied customers, with great return on investment. So I think there's many good things to come for Agile, for the next 10 years. Yeah.
Well, listen, I want to thank you today for joining us. It's really been an honor to talk to you about Agile Scrum, and I just want to thank you for joining us as well, and hope you got some takeaways and maybe some interest. And my name is Tom Shives and Yvonne Kish from Unstuck Company. Thank you very much.
Thank you.